Alright, hey you guys, I'm gonna film over here because I was just about to film near my coffee bar. I feel like I always film over there. I'm gonna try and talk a little bit louder because again, I can't figure out how to attach my mic to this tripod. There's usually, like my old tripod had like a screw top on the top of it, and this one doesn't because you screw like to mount the camera, if that makes sense. So, I don't know, I'm gonna have to have Cody look at it. But anyway, this again, it's not the vlog I thought it was going to be because it has been a really weird, crazy, honestly hectic week. And I feel like I just want to talk about it because, yeah, I feel like this baby is throwing me for a loop. There's been a few things. I'm not going to talk about all the things that have like happened, but like nothing huge, nothing major, but just some like very strange things. I have been like thrust into the medical system more than I normally would choose to. And it's been interesting. And I feel like I could rant about that for a minute. That's maybe an Instagram rant. But I wanted to kind of like tell you guys what's been going on a little bit. So I was in the hospital Monday night and then back to appointments and back to the hospital Tuesday. I'm fine. I had a very random, very sudden onset of pain in my upper stomach. It was not anywhere near baby, so that was really good. And it was really brutal, like almost labor level. So it was really intense, but it wasn't like to one side or the other. So we were like, is this like a gallbladder thing? Is this a pancreas thing? Am I having issues with stomach? Like, is there a twisted intestine? Like, what is going on? And that lasted for about 2 hours, and then I got a break and I was like, okay, it's gone. And then it came back with a vengeance. And so I decided to go into hospital to get checked out just because I'm pregnant. Because if it were to be like pancreas or intestinal, that's pretty serious while you're pregnant. So I went into the ER and did that whole song and dance. Thankfully, it was very quiet in the ER. We live in a small town, so there's like one doctor in the whole hospital working the entire hospital. It's crazy. The nurses were really great. A small town, so like one of the nurses actually like knew of me, which was funny, through the homeschool community. But they got me back pretty fast because I'm pregnant, and long story short, we did some testing that I was comfortable with. Like, it was not really invasive testing. We did blood work, we did like urine testing and stuff like that. And then we started to suspect that it was probably gallbladder. And they did a crappy ultrasound because they don't have good ultrasound machines. They checked baby's heartbeat and everything to make sure he was okay, and he was fine. And then sure enough, it was my gallbladder, and I had a stuck stone that I was passing that day, which was why I was in so much pain. And so they booked me for this like specialist ultrasound the next morning in the city. And so I got home later that night and so exhausted, just went to bed, especially like, no, I'm not gonna rant right now. There's so many things that are so inherently wrong about the medical system and like flawed and issues with them. And I love that it's there for emergency, like in cases like this. But like I had this young doctor, and then like later somebody else was like, who said this? Like, was he young? And I was like, yes. And they were like, oh, like there's just so much, right? Anyway, I'm kind of ranting when I said I wouldn't. So anyway, I went to this special, like this, again, I'm gonna save it for, I'm clearly feeling some feelings about it. I'm gonna save it probably for Instagram because that's where I rant about my more like crunchy side, even though it's fine to do it here. Tuesday morning, bright and early, I go to this special ultrasound place in the city, and yes, it was gallstones, but we were making sure my gallbladder wasn't infected or anything. So I got cleared of all infection. She was amazing. She checked my liver, she checked my kidneys, she checked my gallbladder. And so I have some gallstones. Basically, I'm not gonna go into my whole diagnosis. It is best case scenario as it could be. At this point, we knew what it was because I had seen the gallstones the night before. And it's the only thing that made sense after like some time had passed. So that was good to get confirmed. I have no infections, nothing like that. Obviously, doctors will typically just be like, okay, I guess you're gonna get surgery. And I'm like, no, because gallstones can absolutely be dissolved with very strict, diligent diet and lifestyle and certain supplements and certain herbs. And it's handy that I'm a herbalist. So I already was like immediately on top of stuff. Did a whole bunch of research on what to do. Thankfully, my diet and everything is very, very on track to what I should already be doing. I just have to, for the rest of my pregnancy, make some tweaks. So if you see me eating, or if I share any more what I eat in a day, the reason I'm like telling you this is because I will have to mention this because I now have to be much lower fat. So for the rest of my pregnancy and the first couple months postpartum, just to prevent any flare-ups, because as the baby grows and pushes on my gallbladder, that could cause some more stones to try and pass, or, you know, just some like irritation. So it is something that I'm going to do to manage for the rest of my pregnancy until I can do something a little more like serious in terms of like cleansing the liver and cleansing the gallbladder, which I can't do while I'm pregnant to a degree. But in future, like what I eat in a day videos, or if you guys see me eating, that will maybe be noticeable, is, you know, I'm such like a butter mom and I will always be that way. I'm just being very, very intentional with the fats that I consume now, making sure they're really healthy fats, spreading them out through my day, and then dropping most of my dairy stuff to like low fat options that are still like grass fed, which is tough, really hard, but to find. But it's actually been really easy, and I have to like crank my fiber up. So honestly, not that hard, just very minor tweaks. Just being a little bit more diligent about the brewer's diet really will fix that for me, and just like lowering the fat intake of what percent milk I'm drinking and things like that. So that's what is happening. That's what my week has been. And it is Wednesday now, and this is like my first day of like resting, because the medical system here is really bad. We have a huge doctor shortage. We have a huge shortage of medical staff in general in Canada. My doctor, like, to get my results from the ultrasound, because the ultrasound tech was technically not allowed to like diagnose me or tell me much. She shared lots of information with me, which was fantastic. Also because like, sorry, I'm pretty good at reading ultrasound and pointing out what I see, and so I end up getting talked to a lot by my ultrasound techs, which is very nice. So I feel very informed. But like my doctor is gone until the spring, like 2 full months. She's just gone, and there was no notification. Okay, whatever. So if the ultrasound tech sent them the results, she wouldn't get it anyway. So the doctors the night before had kind of warned me about that. I guess the doctors the night before had like told me like, hey, we really don't want you to fall through the cracks. This happens a lot. Come back here to the ER a few hours after your appointment tomorrow to get the results. So I was like, okay. So I ended up having to go back to the ER that afternoon, waiting for an hour and a half. Totally could have been a phone call. It was so frustrating. But I got like my results and everything, and it's just like really sloppy all over the place, honestly. But again, I'm super confident that I'll be able to dissolve my stones permanently. Like, maybe not throughout the remainder of my pregnancy, but for sure, like after, I have 100%. Oh, do you want another one? I have 100% confidence that I'll be able to save my gallbladder. I really don't believe that surgery is the only option ever. Gallbladder is a really important organ, and I'm not gonna lose it without a fight. So yeah, and if anybody's asking like, or if anybody doesn't know about it, you're like, what, were you just eating too much fats or something? Sometimes pregnancy and the hormones in pregnancy can just trigger gallstones. It's really like, there's no way to know if I had any before. I now know that like I did have an attack in my first trimester. I just didn't know what it was, and it went away and never came back until now. But because I had 2 attacks in one day, it was like, okay, we're gonna go get this checked out. So it definitely could have just been caused by this pregnancy, and that is a possibility. Oh. Thank you. I don't want any. No, thank you. Do you want me to hold it? Okay. Yeah, it's a bit of a mystery. Like you never know. It can be hereditary, which would not surprise me in my case. Could be a lot of different things, but my week has just kind of been trashed because of it. It was super hard, obviously. Thank goodness I have bigger kids, because Mackenzie basically took him while I was having my attack. I love you. I know. Hold on. Right now I'm talking to the camera. Just wait. We'll go sit down and have milkies in a second, okay? Just give me a minute. I am so grateful that I never got this cold, because the kids' cold is still lingering. They still have like snotty noses, and they still have like some congestion, but I never got anything, which just makes me so grateful, because if I were sick on top of all this would be chaos. I'm just so, like, it could have been so much worse. This was the best case scenario kind of out of the situation. Results, like I have no infection. Cody was able to like come, and like Zeg was a total trooper, sitting in the car for all these appointments with Cody. Just a craziness. So my week has just been totally turned upside down. It was very stressful. That's another thing, is I just have to be, again, it's like stuff I already have in place, but I just have to be very diligent now about what I'm doing. I'm not giving you milk standing up, but we can cuddle. Hold on. So I have to be like making sure I'm getting to bed earlier. It's perfect because like I'm already working on getting my daily yoga practice back, and yoga is fantastic for gallstones. So that will help. Spring is coming, so I can hopefully walk more as long as this pelvic girdle pain stays away. And I just have to be really diligent about what I'm eating and exercise and water intake. I'm taking some very specific like herbs in the form of teas and drinking a few cups of those a day to help. The other thing I have to do is really make sure I reduce stress. So stress can cause gallbladder attacks apparently. So I really need to work on just being less stressed and not allowing stress in. And I just feel like this baby is teaching me a lot of lessons. Like I almost feel like there were some things I was already doing that were like the right thing, but I was kind of being lazy about it. And this baby is like, no, we're not being lazy about it. We are being diligent, and we are going to start like being firmer about these things. Then we're going to like get on them. So anyway, wanted to give you guys an update, because especially if I'm filming like what I'm eating and stuff, I don't want anybody to think I'm promoting some low-fat diet or anything like that. It is literally just because I need to manage this while I'm pregnant and reduce any chances for another attack. We don't want an attack in the third trimester to trigger labor or anything like that. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna share like deep medical details or anything else, but it's just been like crazy, the things that have happened in this pregnancy so far. And oh, you've got a runny nose. I've just had a few experiences with the medical system now so far, when normally I'm very removed from it, and hopefully this looks like my last time anywhere near it. But it's just shown me all the reasons I really strongly advocate against it for like general health, just because there were so many things that like the doctors didn't know that I knew, that doctors were uneducated about, that doctors disagreed on, that one doctor said this thing and this doctor was like, that doctor was crazy for saying that thing. And just like scare tactics. Gosh, they love to just scare you with the stupidest things. They're like, there's a 2% increased chance of this. You should be terrified. It's like, no, no. So anyway, I'm again ranting at this point, but I just wanted to fill you guys in, because I'm trying to like stay transparent, but also I don't want to share too much of my medical history. Baby is so healthy, so good. I'd had a midwife appointment. We've checked his heart rate several times now with being in and out of the hospital. Every time I go in, they would check. What? What do you see? So we are good and healthy, so just, if you have space, just send me some good thoughts, vibes, prayers for a very, very healthy pregnancy. Like just my health to stay very healthy for the rest of my pregnancy and immediate postpartum, because that is when the biggest time for like attacks can happen. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Maybe hermit a little bit more so I can keep my stress really low. But yeah, we're just flowing with it, right? Life happens and you take it in stride, and it could always be worse. So it's kind of how I'm feeling. Wanted to update you guys, and I don't know what else this vlog is going to be, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, I gotta go to Costco. I gotta go to Costco. Bird, you see the bird? Bird. 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 Okay, so the week slipped by me way too fast. I've just been trying to reset and try and figure out like what I need to do, and it's been a little bit challenging because I don't want to my brain can get almost too disciplined with stuff, and so I've had a couple conversations with Cody about like the reality of the situation and the different research and like just where I feel I need to sit and how to go forward and like, you know, so it's been a weird week, and I apologize that there was no more video, but after explaining this, hopefully, if you want to hear any more information about this or like my journey, I have decided to share on Instagram. So I have a highlight called Gallbladder that I am sharing exactly like what I'm doing and how I'm eating and things like that. And I will continue to share this journey for as long as it lasts. But yeah, I'm not feeling down in the dumps about it at all. I'm quite confident that I'll be able to resolve them and dissolve them, and it's just like a lot. This week was just a lot, and I'm trying to like reset things and do some prep for baby and just figure out like really new healthy habits. That's where I'm trying to put my discipline in, is like going to bed early and all those like just self-care things, and the diet stuff is just kind of, that's the easy part really. So yeah, anyway, hopefully this wasn't too just rambly and boring. I know I said and a lot and used a ton of filler words just because my brain has been totally mush this week, but now you know, going forward, if I talk, I'll mention this in my pregnancy update coming up, and in any more like food vlogs, you'll just notice little things like that. And I just want to make sure that people don't think I'm promoting some low-fat diet, because that is so not in my card of recommendations. It's just something I'm doing temporarily, and eventually once I heal my gallbladder, I'll be able to just continue to resume eating normally, which is more, I will always be more intentional about my liver health from now on, because your gallbladder is directly linked to your liver health. So yeah, anyway, I hope you, well, I don't know if it's right to say I hope you enjoyed this vlog. This vlog was a vlog. Thank you for bearing with me as life happens, and I still try to put out content. So hopefully maybe next week will be a normal week. We'll see. I'm not going to make any promises, because that's what I said last week, and here we are. So, oh, you found an orange. It's a ball. Ethan, it's a ball. It's an orange. Go give it to Emmy. That's Emmy's orange. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys, everybody who has already heard this on Instagram and has like reached out and just been so supportive and wonderful. I really appreciate that. For everybody who has shared stories of medical neglect and falling through the cracks and having similar experiences, I'm so sorry that this is so common. Yeah, it's really common for this to happen in pregnancy though, like not for this to happen in anybody's pregnancy, but if you're going to have gallbladder issues, for it to happen while you are pregnant, it's very common. So yeah, it's a huge thing. I'm learning so much about it, and honestly, I'm feeling really empowered about what I'm learning, and I'm really interested to see how quickly I can dissolve them. And yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go because I gotta go chase off this baby, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.